Architecture is not about buildings. You always make a mistake. Architecture is about a time in life, about people. Any good artist, when they begin to speak about their paintings and etc., they'll never tell you that, oh, I was in Paris and I saw this and I started drawing it. The guy will tell you about his emotion of the space where he was and what it informed him to do. My name is Phil Mashavani. I'm a practicing architect, a non-practicing attorney, and I'm an arbitrator mediator. We did the Apartheid Museum together as a collaboration with other architects because that project was not an ordinary project. This was intended to be a response to a bid by the Akani Egoli Holdings, who were bidding for a gaming license. Amongst many conditions that were there, one major condition was that any company that is going to be afforded a license should give a gift back to the city in a form of money, alternatively in a form of an established environment that can be enjoyed by people. And a gift to the city meant that a lot of consultation needed to have taken place. We had a reference group which was made up of various people, artists, traditional healers, name them. Even prisoners were consulted, and ex-convicts. And that is a reference group that came with the actual architecture because that was intended to house the story and the history and the pain of apartheid, its successes and failures in many ways. And of course, many voices that we had who never wanted to hear and even to pronounce the word apartheid, they said, we cannot tell that history. And if we need to be told, it cannot be in the public domain. The building should either perhaps be an underground building and etc. And of course, every person who was part of the discussions then or reference groups, they sit and stand there feeling proud that I contributed to the establishment of the housing of our history. We may not like it, but it is there. These are pillars that are enshrined with statements enshrined in the Constitution. And each statement, like freedom, freedom is not free. Freedom comes with huge responsibility. As soon as you go through the 10,000, you'll walk up onto the top of the building without feeling that you've actually gone some 15 meters high above the ground level here. Those who came from this side, as opposed to those who came up the ramp, it's up to you to make up your mind. You know, this is like the back door, and that's how blacks were treated anyway. And so is our constitution and the design in architecture. There should be always a meeting point. And of course, those who came up here and those who came up here when we are here, we're all the same. Our lives have got various pockets, and so is the mind of a human being. And of course, it's like what these spaces represent, right? As we walk through the journey of the apartheid and to the new dispensation, you know, we're all carrying some bags of certain information. Are we all the same? So this will tell you about the history of the epochs and the periods in the life of human beings. And it's recorded by the spaces where they live and the things that they do, and think about the people or who the institution is being established for. Be it a student or anybody who wants to enter the profession of architecture, the pitfalls are that if you're not truthful to yourself and truthful to the situation you're faced with, then you've got a challenge because you'll never find a solution. We're standing almost 30 meters above the level where we started. And nobody can tell me that you really felt it. And the advantage is that now, this is what the democratic dispensation is all about. Rise above all. You almost forget what is happening down there. And now this is how architecture can be used to tell stories, to tell the feeling, to represent future aspirations, to give you a future perspective. Buildings then and structures like this, they need to represent that. They need to take you on a journey, so by the time you reach the end, when you look back, that's when you commend or congratulate people about the journey they've traveled, not the destination where they've arrived. And that is the birth of architecture in many instances.